How's it going? What up? Welcome in $2 to Deuces, episode number 39. This is week 9. NFL spreads, player props, and some survivor pool talk. I am joined, as always, by my co-hosts, Mr. Frito Bandito. What's up, Rich? How you doing tonight?
I'm good. Day off today. I say day off. I had to pull all my Halloween stuff down from decorating and everything. But
Got the Christmas lights up?
No. Christmas lights is ones that I really hate putting up because it takes a lot more work than putting the Halloween stuff up.
Oh.
I prefer to do the Halloween.
Ask Abe. I love putting Christmas lights up.
Yes, you do. You are the original Clark W. Griswold.
I was about to say that. Are you Mr. Griswold?
I don't staple them to the roof, but I mean, maybe next time.
Yeah. Week 9's here, man.
Yeah.
Let's do this, man. It's gonna be a tough week.
It always is a tough week anymore, it feels like. Also joined by Abe at MVinFF on Twitter. How's it going, buddy?
Good. It's good to be back once again. Had a rough week on the spreads last week, but the only way to look is up, I guess. So we're looking forward to another week. Gosh, I can't believe we're in week 9 already, but the season's flying by. It seems like, when you're 9 weeks away from the season, it creeps along, but 9 weeks into the season, it seems like we were just starting off yesterday. But looking forward to this week. Got to keep looking forward. That's all we can do. Can't look back.
Hell yeah. No looking back because nothing good comes of that. So you can find the show on Twitter at Toads Titles. You can find myself at Nate_Dirt19. Rich is at Frito Bandito_FF. And Abe, like I said, is at MVinFF. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Facebook, and Twitch. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please hit the like and subscribe button. We would really appreciate that. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star review. That would be greatly appreciated. Also, check out totalstyles.com. All of our videos, articles, and content is up there. They just had an IDP article I read for some waiver wire guys, which is really good stuff from one of the new contributors. Tons of stuff on there. Also, patreon.com/totalstitles. Check it out. Bunch of different tiers. I think this week, actually, we're switching up our waiver wire episode we've been doing. Gonna make it a little, I think it'll be better, actually, instead of just having a list of a bunch of guys. It'll have trade targets, guys to get rid of, stuff like that. And we're going to release it on all platforms so you can kind of see what the Patreons get. Like I said, it's $5 a month, which is less than your fancy Starbucks if that's what you drink or whatever. So we'll go ahead and we got a bunch of buys this week too. Oh, and also before I forget, this is we recommend that you be, like 18 or 21 to gamble. So there may be some explicitives said here and there, generally because we talk about getting some bad beats. And what are you pointing at? Are you pointing at me saying I swear? Yeah, I know. Well, I'm sorry. It's just part of my vocabulary,
I try to keep it G-rated, but we got Mr. R-rated over here. Maybe PG-13 down below.
Yeah. I mean, I can get there. I can definitely get there.
Yeah.
That's why I hold back.
It's fine. It's just how I talk,
Yeah.
I did so well for so long that I said to those guys, I was like, can we just, this is a 21 over show because that's how old you got to be to gamble anyways. Not like they don't say fuck every now and then.
Yeah, not to mention we drink while we're on the show anyway. So
yes.
Got to take the edge off.
Yes. Well, we definitely need to do
that. Let's talk real quick since it's at the top and I don't want to go back to it. I didn't even make a pick for the survivor pool. I will right now. We actually all won last week.
I will go ahead and jump into mine while you're scrolling.
I had the Bills last week, and that was an obvious one. But yeah, go ahead and I'll pick one. So go ahead and talk about yours.
Nate picked the Bills last week. Abe picked Cowboys, and I had the Vikings. So going into week 9, I'm surprised I haven't picked this team yet, but they are playing the Jets. So I am going with the Bills. They are it doesn't matter what kind of spread. We'll talk about that later. They're just going to win outright. So I got the Bills. Abe, who you got?
I got the Patriots. If you watched any of our preseason stuff, I was a big Colts guy. And then I've watched and witnessed Frank Reich's coaching and the fallout of Matt Ryan and everyone else on their team refusing to give Johnny Taylor the ball. So I'm going with the Patriots this week. Patriots at home. They're 5-point favorites going up against a a struggling Colts team. So I have the Patriots this week in my survivor pool.
Give me the Seahawks. Cardinals stink. Gino's rolling. Pete Carroll is just kicking ass. So yeah, I actually feel good about that. I don't know why, but they've been playing good football. So
yeah,
they're leading the division. It's kind of funny, but it's just how it's going. So last week, a little rough.
Yes.
Had a couple props. I think we did okay on. I don't know, probably 50-50, I guess, maybe somewhere in there. A few from the Ravens-Bucks game that we all took an L on because we all picked the Bucks. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that team. But I did hit Gus Edwards over. I think Abe said that too. 44 and a half, had 65 yards. Lamar did not hit his over. He only had 43 rushing yards. Kind of weird.
So hey, let me break in for that real quick. So I love Lamar's over rushing attempts at 9.5 before the game started. So I bet it at 9.5. It got down then it got down to 8.5. So I bet it again. Got down to 7.5. So I bet it again. Thank goodness for those 2 kneel downs at the end of the game to get him to. They got him to 9. So I won 2 of my 3 bets because he took 2 kneel downs at the end of the game. So thank goodness for the Ravens winning that game because those 2 kneel downs at the end got to 8 and 9 attempts. So thank you, Lamar and the Ravens, for winning those. And when they got the ball, it was like 46 seconds to go, so I knew it was 2 kneel downs. So I pulled one out last week that I didn't expect to.
Hey, you hit that Shaq Barrett one too, over a quarter of a sack. He had a sack.
Yeah, and then he got hurt not too long after it. But
that's too bad. Out for the season. Yes. Sorry to hear that.
Hey, but at least you got your player prop before then.
Yeah.
Rich did have Brady over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I don't know. And I think I actually bet that. And I don't know if he's ever going to throw more than he got to throw a touchdown. God dang, he looks terrible.
Abe was talking about it last week, and he said he did it like 2 weeks in a row. And I said, you know what? If you're not going to do it this week, I'm going to do it. Should have never went with that direction.
No. The London game, after Jabroni was doing his high knees on the plane, they did win somehow, which was a real letdown. You know, the Jags they don't look good, but the Jags were winning. I did have the first half under it hit. I think it was, I don't know, 17 points the first half, and the under of the game was 39.5. They had scored 38 points, so hit both those. So that was cool, but they didn't win. God, those teams are bad. The Broncos suck.
Yeah, they do. So, like, the Jaguars are like 5-1 or something over there before this game. I mean, they play over there every year because they can't fill anyone in their own stadium. But so I'm like, this is an easy win. The Broncos are playing terrible. The Jags is pretty much a home game for them in London because they play there every year, and then they just laid an egg. So it was bad. It was tough to watch, but it was also 9:30 in the morning here, and I guess
I couldn't watch it. I don't have ESPN Plus.
Oh, and you did send a message out. I probably should have sent you my stuff to watch it, but I don't think you would have wanted to watch it. It was that bad.
So, quick question. I didn't, like I said, schedule flopped, so I didn't get to watch any football and everything. But with the trade deadline that happened this past week, did Bradley Chubb play at all in that game?
Yeah,
he did play some.
Yeah,
interesting. I know a lot of times if they know they're trying to trade a player, they won't play him and everything. So I was wondering if he did play it in that game. So
yeah, yep.
No, I was looking yesterday because we were arguing on the Toes Titles group chat about something, and I was looking at Trevor Lawrence's stats. Have you looked at like his completion percentage from this season so far? It's like the first couple weeks it was like 70, kind of 70, and then he had the 1 week where it was like 85. I think when he played, they played the Raiders. They played the Chargers. And he was like,
the Raiders
he had like he had 1 week where he was like 90, like he was like 20 or 22 or something like that. And then there's weeks where he's like 48%, 50%. Like it's just funny to look like.
Well, it kind of makes sense because when he was having all those high percentage completion games and stuff like that, that's where you were hearing a lot about all the receivers doing good, and you haven't heard anything about any of the receivers the past couple weeks. So it ain't there right now.
Yeah, that 1 week that he threw, that 1 week when he had 85%. Like I think you asked me, Nate, you're like, did anyone see him? I'm like, yeah, I watched him. Like he didn't play well, but his stats were good. And then after that, he has not thrown the ball well since then. I mean, he had good numbers that week, but he looked a little bit off, and he's been off since. But yeah, we have a no hitter in the World Series. It's completed.
That's cool.
Series tied 2-2.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Melvin Gordon over his rushing did not hit because Chase Edmonds same way. Like they just whatever. ETN over 18.5 receiving yards did not hit. I didn't get to watch it. I assume he just wasn't involved.
He was.
He was in the running game.
4 catches for 6 yards. Like he still had 3 or 4 catches, but only got 6 yards. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
Bears, Cowboys. Abe had the Bears under 16.5 points. They scored a bunch of. It was at the end. It was all garbage time. It seemed like the Cowboys would be up by like 14 or 20 points, and they'd let them score a touchdown. And this is when the guy said that Justin Fields had some plays he made him look like Josh Allen. Jesus Christ. Rich saw me. Rich could tell I was getting pissed last night. Don't know who we were talking about it.
They sent me a message about it today.
It's been all the talk this week on all the channels and everything. That Justin Fields is starting to look like the man we thought he was going to be.
He's 58%. He's not looking fucking good.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, everyone was ready to bench him, saying he's done. Like they're going to move on, all that stuff. And now all of a sudden he's winning. Not only is he winning the MVP, he's so good he's winning the Heisman this year. That's how good he is. So, I mean,
Hall of Fame, dude.
Yeah, just put him in it. He's going straight to Canton.
Oh Christ! I said he started 10 games last year. He's played 8 games this year, and he's 58% completion. It stays the same, hasn't changed.
Yeah,
and he's throwing the ball like I don't know, almost as many times, but whatever. I don't even talk about that right now. Pollard did hit his over in rushing by a lot, I think.
131 yards.
Had 131 yards. So Eagles Steelers. I thought Pickett would do it. Only had 1 interception. Over was 1.5. I was going for it, but yeah, 1 pick. So Abe had George Pickens over 40 yards. I don't know. Did he have a catch?
I don't think so. No, he didn't have anything. I don't think.
Is that 2 weeks in a row he hasn't had a catch?
I don't know. I could be wrong. I didn't put that on there. That's one I must have skipped.
I'll look it up real quick.
Kenny Pickett sucks too. Dolphins, Lions. I had Lions under 1.5 touchdowns. They scored 3 touchdowns. Game was kind of I guess the Dolphins were losing for a while, but
they were
came back.
Yep.
Cardinals, Vikings. Abe had the over. It hit by 11 points. They scored 60. I don't know if we had anything else. Josh Jacobs. Rich had him over his combined yards, 107.5. I don't even know if he touched the ball because Josh McDaniels decided to not run the football this week.
I don't think nobody touched the ball.
I'm not trying to rub salt in your wounds, man. Like I said, I just trying to breeze on through, you know. Abe Henry, 100+ yards. Yeah, he had 219. Seahawks Giants. Rich had the under 44.5, which hit, and I had Danny Dimes over 30.5. He only had 20 yards.
Pickens 0.
Check. Yeah, weird. Now Claypool's gone. He'll get some more, right?
Yeah.
Abe had the over in the Rams game as well of over 43 because 45. Singletary over 42 rushing yards against the Packers. He had 67. He looked really good. I'm surprised they went and got Naheem Hines, to be honest with you. I thought Singletary looked really good.
I am too. I was shocked they went and got Hines. I was shocked. But
I think it's James Cook has some fumbling issues. And I think they'd rather have 4 running backs for the long haul because you never know. So got him for cheap. Bills over 29.5 points. Abe had, but missed because they scored 27. Aaron Jones over 28.5 receiving yards. I think he finally hit that. Only had 14. He ran the shit out of the football. That's what it was. Rich had Josh Allen over 275.5 and missed with 218. Bengals under 46.5. Rich hit that 45. I almost hit my long shot with Jefferson and Hopkins, but Justin Jefferson only had 98 yards because he's bummed, doesn't try anymore.
So, you almost hit your long shot. I almost hit my long shot. I only missed it by 4 yards.
Did. Well, D-Hop had 159 yards, and Justin Jefferson had 98 and needed 100.
Oh, gotcha.
Abe hit Goff and 250 plus each, 321 and 382 respectively. Saquon and Waller each have a rushing touchdown. Did they do that?
Walker, yeah, they both had a rushing touchdown. They needed 100 each rushing and 1 touchdown each to get for 14-1 odds. and they each had a touchdown, but they each only had like 53 and 51 yards.
Yeah. Rich had McCaffrey. It was 75 plus rushing, 59 plus receiving, and a rushing touchdown. He had 94 rushing, 55 yards receiving, and 3 touchdowns.
Triple crown,
It's too
one
bad
passing, one rushing,
couldn't
and
add
one
his
receiving.
passing yards. You hit that.
Do what's that?
You know, you add the passing yards to his receiving yards, and you hit it, right?
Hey, does that count?
I think it does.
Woohoo! I hit the long shot.
So last week, it was a little rough. Abe and Rich were 5 and 10. I was 7 and 8 somehow. I'm 56, 64 and 3 on the season. Abe is 51, 69 and 3, and Rich is leading the way at 58, 62 and 3. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was almost 500.
Let's rip that Band-Aid off.
Yeah, I got to get rid of it. Week 9. Browns, Cowboys, Broncos, Giants, Steelers, Niners are all on a bye. I think this is the first week we've had 6 teams on a bye.
It is.
Right?
Yep.
You might want to say 8 teams with the bye with all the injuries too. So
yeah, shit. And who knows, like guys that are going to be playing with all the trades.
True.
Ton of trades. So Thursday night game, Eagles at the Texans. The Texans are getting 14 points at home. Yeah, I guess I'll go first. I got the Eagles. I don't know. They look too good. I don't know. The Texans against Malik Willis they can't stop. It's just Derrick Henry. They had 230 some yards. They didn't do anything else. I just think the Eagles are too much for them. They look really good. Their defense has gotten better. That CJ, GJ, whatever you call him, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson looks really good. Yeah, I think they no problem beat them by 2 scores. I like the first half over 23, and I like the Eagles minus 7.5 at the first half as well. So, Abe.
I have the Texans just because the Texans are playing at home and they're getting 14 points. It's the NFL, and it's been a heck of a weird season. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, I want to pick the Eagles because the Eagles are by far the most dominant team. But it's hard to bet against a team at home getting 2 touchdowns. So I have the Texans plus 14. I have a couple of props in this game. I like Miles Sanders over 79.5 rushing yards. Obviously, we saw Derrick Henry rip through these guys for 200 plus last week. The Texans give up the most rushing yards in football, and so I like Sanders over 79.5 rushing yards. Eagles second quarter spread. I don't know if you follow too much into this or not. It's something that I know every week, but I never play into it. The Eagles are they are dominating people in the second quarter. I don't know what it is. They just crush people in the second quarter. So I don't care what the spread is in the second quarter. I like the Eagles. It's kind of like Golden State Warriors in the third quarter last year in the NBA playoffs. They just dominated people coming out of halftime. Well, the Eagles do that in the second quarter. So those are my 2 props that I like. Another thing I kind of like that I didn't put on here, but I really don't think I don't think that Hurts will run as much because I don't think he'll have to. His rushing yards are around 50. And I just don't think he gets there just because I don't think he'll have to run that much. Even though the Texans are terrible against the run, I think he'll sit back in the pocket and just pick them apart anyways. And he may not even play in the third and fourth quarter. Who knows? So I think the under of him is a good bet to look at also.
So yeah. I don't like what you said about not him playing later on in the game, because if that's the case, that means they're probably covering that spread. So I'm picking Texans at plus 14. Same thing. I mean, you basically said it all, Abe. At home, I mean, yeah, Texans have looked. They've had their moments and everything. I mean, Dameon Pierce is looking sharp and everything. If they could just get him involved and keep the running game going and everything, and not so much rely on Davis Mills, which, don't get me wrong, Davis Mills has hold his own and everything. But, yeah, it's at home. At plus 14, I like picking the Texans on this. It's one of those ones I'd rather pick this one, even as good as the Eagles being undefeated and everything. They freaking lit it up in the air last week, and I don't know, man. I think they take a step back.
Score. He might score 3 touchdowns again.
This could be one of those trap games and everything, and this is what I'm kind of worried about.
Isn't it crazy that Philly and Houston are in the World Series, and now Philly and Houston are playing Thursday night football? Also, I think tomorrow is a off day for the World Series, but That'd be pretty
because that
wild.
rain
Down
out, isn't it?
I don't know. Maybe it is. Actually, I didn't look at that. But that'd be pretty wild if these two teams were playing it. Houston would be jumping pretty good tomorrow if they have a Thursday night football game and a World Series game.
Who won the World Series
Houston
tonight?
Houston did. They threw a
Okay,
no-hitter.
then hey, I'm going Texans. Texas is gonna win the game tomorrow. Win that game.
No, it's in Philly tomorrow night.
Is it in Philly? Oh, that's still pretty wild that these two teams are facing off in World Series and on Thursday night football.
The schedulers knew it was happening.
Yep.
They just knew.
They're like the Simpsons.
I know. Also, is Brandon Cooks is he gonna play or is he all just upset?
Yeah,
he's booty hurt right now.
Like he is. Yeah, it sounds like he is.
He's booty hurt, and he'll probably come out and have an awesome game.
Hopefully. Dolphins traveling to Soldier Field. Bears getting 5 points at home. Abe, talk about these
Bears, man. So I obviously I'm not a Bears fan. I'm actually a Bears hater. But I don't know. I just kind of think that the Dolphins, they struggled last week against Detroit a little bit. And I think the Bears think they're going to the Super Bowl right now after they picked up Chase Claypool. So I think they have a ton of confidence playing at home. I don't know. It's one of those games where the Dolphins to me have not looked that great besides Tua just throwing it downfield and Tyreek doing his thing. And then they get down there and it goes to Waddle every time. So I have a weird feeling that the Bears make this a really good game. And I actually think the Bears might upset the Dolphins. I can't believe I'm saying that because as bad as I cannot stand the
Slater's
Bears,
gonna be pissed.
As much as I like the Dolphins, because of Slater and because I watch them, because he comes over and watches games with me. But I don't know. I think for whatever reason the Bears are going to cover 5. I think they're in a super high right now. I think they thought staying within 20 of Dallas and scoring 29 points and then getting Chase Claypool. They think their offense is rolling. So I have some props also. I like Mooney over 43.5 receiving yards. I like Fields over his rushing at 48.5. I like Waddle over 67.5 receiving yards. And I think Tyreek scores for the first time since week 2. He's only got 2 touchdowns on the year, and both of those occurred in week 2. He has not scored since. So I think that Tyreek finds the end zone in Chicago this weekend.
Yeah. Rich, go ahead. You go.
So if you guys haven't had a chance, anybody's watching the show, or if you go and watch the show, earlier this evening, my man George and Justin had a show where they had one of the greats Miami Dolphin receivers on, OJ McDuffie.
That was awesome.
It was great interview and stuff like that. If you hadn't had a chance, go back and watch it and everything. Like I said, it was freaking awesome to have someone on of that caliber on our shows and stuff like that. With that being said, that's the reason why I'm going with the Dolphins. Both these teams, I'm doing it for OJ McDuffie. Both these teams were active this week in the trade deadline. Miami picked up.
The Dolphins got better. The Bears did not.
What's that?
They went in opposite directions here.
I agree. I agree with you, Nate. I think the Bears did not get better also. But I think the Bears clubhouse, I think they think that Chase Claypool is the answer and that now Fields has his guy. Look out, NFL. This team is ready to rock and roll. They got
not one, but 2 Notre Dame wide receivers too. Watch out for those Golden Domers.
Not to mention they gave up their linebacker earlier the week too.
Right?
Yeah, don't forget that. Don't forget that they got rid of like 2 of their best defensive players besides that Bursker kid or whatever his name is. He's really good. But yeah, give me the Dolphins. Dolpham. That's how I call Slater, part of the Dolpham. They're gonna win. They're gonna beat the shit out of them. I like Gesicki to score. I don't know if he has for a week or 2, but I don't think this game's even close. I know. I heard somebody talking like, Bears played good. I'm like, you got beat by 20. It wasn't even close. They put a David 50 burger on you. Anyways, whatever. I don't care. Yeah, give me the Dolphins. Bills at the Jets. I'm by myself again. I'll go first. Jets getting 12.5 points at home. They are bad. Zach Wilson's terrible. Elijah Vera Tucker being gone really does hurt. Breece Hall not being there is very evident that he was the one covering up for Zach Wilson and his shortcomings. Give me the Bills plus 12.5. I know they didn't cover, but depending on what you got it at, there was 10, 10.5, and 11 against the Packers. It really felt like the Bills just didn't try the second half. That's why the Packers looked a little better. I mean, they did do a lot better things than they had, and the Packers, I mean, won in every aspect of that game besides the scoreboard. First downs, time possession, rushing, a lot of stuff like that. But the Jets stink. So Bills are I think the Bills got them. They're gonna steamroll them. Abe?
I have the Jets plus 12.5. Once again, a team that's got 5 wins under their belt, getting 12.5 points at home. I know it's against the Bills, but I wasn't real impressed with the Bills last week. They played their last 2 games. They played the Chiefs and the Packers, and they've scored 24 and 27 points, and that doesn't. It seems like maybe that's a lot, but I don't think that's a lot for the Bills. I'm excited to see the Jets corners against both of the Bills wide receivers. I think Sauce against what's his name, the stud Diggs. I think Sauce against Diggs is going to be an exciting matchup. I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. As soon as Sauce signed, that's the first thing I thought of was Sauce against Diggs. I think this is a little bit of a closer matchup than what people think. I agree 100% with what you said. Once they lost Breece Hall, they just can't move the ball as well as they could. Breece Hall was a monster. He's so good. Then you lose your, part of your offensive line. So I do see that side of it, but I think the Jets try to take the wind out of the sails and just run the ball, try to manage the clock a little bit and then rely on their corners to not allow big plays downfield. And their corners are good enough to do that. So I have the Jets plus 12.5.
Yes, and Jack, I see your comments in there. Speaking of the Bills, are we tired of the off and on with Gabe Davis?
Yes, we are.
Yes,
we are.
Well, according to the Packers dumbass defensive coordinator, he's their number 1 receiver because he's that big of a doofus. So, yeah, I'm over it. I don't know. He didn't I don't think he played that well against the Packers. He hasn't played well.
Tires on him, so he's not going to do much. But yeah, I think after this week he gets going.
Quiet.
I agree with the Gabe Davis up and down stuff. I think after this week he gets going. I think they have another tough matchup with the corners this week, but I think after that Gabe Davis will start to roll.
Yeah, so I'm going with the Jets. This is a divisional game. Divisional games are always closer than what technically you would think and everything, and it just seems to be the fact every single time and everything. I mean, just defense is just, I don't know. They're with Gardner and everything. They're just more legit than what everybody is giving them credit for and everything. And I really like the way that what they've been doing. Yeah, I know Hall ain't there. James Robinson might be more involved this week after the trade that they had a week and a half ago where he didn't play much. I don't know if he played the last week at all or anything like that, but he's going to have more time to get some practice and everything. So it might be a better game. I mean, plus 12.5. I think it's going to be a close game. That's why I'm taking the under of 47 on this game.
Yeah, I said, I don't know.
Jack also has, he's packaging Gabe Davis and Curtis Samuel for Tyler Lockett this week.
I don't know.
I don't know if I would do the same thing there, Jack, but sometimes you got to go for it.
Is Lockett healthy? I mean, he played last week, but I didn't even know. They didn't.
They're both banged up.
I didn't know. I wouldn't pay attention. I don't know. Curtis Samuel, you never know what's going to happen. I know that offense is better with Heineke, but I think Gabe Davis is it's so hard to tell because there's so many weapons there. I'm not totally against it. I feel like you're maybe giving up a little bit more, but sometimes you got to do that to get the guy you want. I'm not against Lockett. Lockett's always been solid floor. So,
yep,
I don't hate it. Yeah, and in that matchup, you always kind of got to side if both receivers are fairly even. And I know Lockett's numbers have been better than Gabe Davis, besides Gabe Davis's blow-up games. But when it really boils down to it, I think you got to look at who the quarterback is, and I'd rather take Josh Allen than I would, Geno. As well as Geno's played, I think he starts to come down to earth. Whereas Josh Allen, I don't think he's really seen what he can do yet. So we'll see. I would rather have Gabe Davis than Lockett myself.
Moving on to the Vikings at the Commandos. Commandos getting 3.5 at home. We're all on the Vikings, which probably means that they won't cover. I don't know. I guess they beat the Cardinals last week. They covered, but it looked kind of rough. I had to watch that game. That's the only thing I had on at noon. So, yeah, but I like the Vikings. Abe?
Yeah, I like the Vikings also. I mean, Washington's won, I think, 3 or 4 straight? 3 straight, I guess. They're 4-4. Everyone in that division is 500 or above, which is crazy to think about. But them getting 3.5 at home was tough for me to do this. But the Vikings are on paper are just a way better team. And I think Justin Jefferson gets in the end zone receiving for the first time since week 1. He is not.
Oh yeah, and the Vikings have T.J. Hawkinson now. Cool. What the fuck, Lions?
Yeah, right.
Seriously.
Well, at least the Packers don't have to face Hawk this weekend. I guess that's the silver lining
Jesus
to it.
Christ.
Yeah. I was gonna say that another team that was active this past week with the trade deadline. That was actually a pretty shocking trade when that came across and everything. But the Lions got a lot for it for them giving him up and everything.
I don't even
he
see
might
what
be
they gave up for it.
What's that?
like
I didn't see what they gave up for it.
second and a third and a fifth or something.
Yeah, second and third this year, and I think a fifth next year. I mean, the following year.
T.J. Hawkinson was the best player on that team.
I mean,
he had. I think I heard that he was
I'd take him over
like
St. Brown.
18% of targets for that team.
He also had Jared Goff on the football.
Yeah. But you got the Onmon St. Brown, the goddess, sun god there. I haven't heard much on Jameson Williams. Have you guys either heard of when he?
I got him in a
coming
keeper
back
league,
home?
but
I think
no
it's
idea.
closer to. They've said all along it's going to be closer to after Thanksgiving. So
Yeah.
I mean, we're still 4 weeks away from him even probably being activated. So I don't know. I don't know what to think of this Lions team because they looked really good offensively the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season when you had but they also give up a lot. So when you're
Their defense is so bad.
when you're getting 3 more possessions than the random any other random game, I mean you're going to score more. So I don't know. It's one of those things where when Swift is healthy and when St. Brown is healthy and when they had Hawk, I mean, but obviously the wheels have kind of fallen off with them a little bit lately. But we'll see. I just think that this Vikings team is too much for Washington, and we'll see about Detroit though. I didn't know what they gave up, but oh well, trading in division, you don't see that very often.
Pretty good.
Oh yeah, Jack. We like that. I'll make him in my touchdown. I said I told Abe these guys before we started. I hit 2 touchdown props last week. One with like 6 guys and one with 4 guys. So I'll make another one with Justin Jefferson this week, and hopefully it'll work. But anything to say about that game, Rich? Sorry, I skipped you on that game, Rich. If you got anything to say about it.
No, Vikings, man. Like I said, I was gonna talk about the trade what we're discussing and everything. So yeah, I'm picking the Vikings. So let's move on.
Yep. Packers traveling to. I thought that game was in Lambeau. That's not.
No.
Packers traveling to Detroit. Lions are getting 4 points at home. I can't believe that I am. Yeah, you go first. I don't even know if I still.
I'm picking the Lions. Green Bay struggles really bad in Detroit. And Green Bay is really struggling across the board this year. So I'm picking the Lions +4 at home. I have no faith in the Packers team right now. I think they came out and showed a little bit of fight Sunday night against the Bills, and it was, in my opinion, it was their best game they played all year, and they still got beat by 10 points. So it looked like, hey, this team might, start getting on a roll. We ran the ball really well. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, we have another wide receiver that's hurt. So we have to go get one. And that's what everyone on their team is expecting and thinking. And they don't yet again. So I think the air just came out of the balloon again. And the Lions, I mean, obviously.
Jack, you're preaching to the choir, dude.
Yeah.
That fucking coaching
run the
staff.
ball. I mean, obviously they looked so good when they ran the ball. We converted 3rd downs.
6 of them.
I think the Lions +4 at home is too good to pass up. Just the way the Packers are playing. I know the Lions are playing bad too, but and Green Bay struggles up there. Rodgers has always struggled in that stadium. I know he's pulled off some wins, but he's always struggled up there. Detroit's defense is terrible, but Green Bay's offense isn't very good either, especially when they try to do stupid stuff. As long as they run the ball, we might see a different outcome. But I do have prop. I have AJ Dillon to score. It's the first time he would score since week 1 as well. I think that Green Bay realizes, well, God, I hope they realize that they need to run the ball, like Jack just said. So I have A.J. Dillon to score for the first time since week 1, and I have the Lions +4.
I bet the Packers don't have 65 rushing yards this weekend. 45.
Probably not.
45. Yeah.
They'll get cute and stupid and yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right, Rich.
I am also picking the Packers and everything. After they made a run and covered the spread last week and at the end of the game and everything, I'm going to say that they're going to win this game. They're going to cover the -4 at the Lions. Interesting player prop I got for this one is I am taking the over of 7.5 punts in this game.
Is that the first half? Oh, it's the whole game? Okay.
It's the whole game. So interesting fact is since 2017, the average NFL game there is per team is 3.5. In the last 2 years, it's 4.5. A lot more punting going on in these games and everything. So I saw that. I was like,
for the brand. Hell yeah.
I was like, you know what?
Yes.
Let's do something different. 7.5 punts.
Yes.
I'm going over with these two teams that just, like I said, they're both struggling. I do have like the Packers covering the -4, but there's going to be a lot of punt actions in this game.
I don't like that. I picked the Packers at all. I think they stink. The defense is bad. I saw some shit like it was like, yeah, pick them up. And I don't know who your other options are, but it's hard to not pick them up if they're gonna run the ball, which I don't know if they will because I have no faith in that. But I mean, the waiver wires in all my leagues, if A.J. Dillon was out there, I'm picking him up because there's not shit else out there.
Yep, I agree.
But like I said, they looked decent last week. Had a few, had like some stuff that made you feel good. The defense did not. Like I said, Jay Alexander not shadowing Stephon Diggs is fucking ridiculous. Like, dude, Joe Barry, are you that stupid? Like God damn it. I'm gonna get more mad talking about this, so I don't even talk about it. Like,
let's talk about it. Let's talk
hold on. Before we talk about this, one more time, I want to say, hey, this is a rated R episode. We should always be coming out with this when we're talking about the Packers. We should start out with that. For explicit languages, make sure you have your earmuffs on.
I don't get how you pay Rodgers all this money and you don't do anything around him. You pay Jair Alexander top-notch money at cornerback and you put him on a number 2 wide receiver. You just do not do those things. Like if you pay these guys money, make them perform, give them options to perform, give them options to prove they're worth that money. Now people would say like, well, Rodgers can do that with no one. Well, no one can do it with no one. I mean, let's be honest. It's the NFL. These guys are all professionals. But why not have your number one corner, who's in my mind a top 4 or 5 corner in the league? Why does he not play against Diggs? And I saw that him and Diggs, John, like coming out in the tunnel. I'm like, that Jair is going to be on Diggs all game. So I went after Gabe Davis in player props, and of course, nope. I mean, who are we? It's one of those things where like, hey, let Diggs get his, and then we're gonna shut everyone else down. That is the dumbest freaking thing you could ever say. Like,
that's what we fucking do with Justin Jefferson. It's the same fucking thing every time.
Yeah, same
thing. Like, just let him beat us. Yeah, the best fucking receiver in the goddamn league. Let him beat us.
But we also have if we had a subpar corner, I could understand that. But like when you have a top 3 or top 5 corner, like put him on their best guy, and if he doesn't perform, then he shouldn't get paid like a top 2 corner. Like that's all there is to it. Why are you protecting his ass by saying, hey, we're going to pay you the most, but yet we're going to actually make you look good by putting you on the number 2 wide receiver every time? It is stupid as shit. I do not get it. It is dumb. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, that's the front office there and the coaching staff. They're so stupid. They're dumb. They have no idea what's going on. They run like the defense. I saw some stat like, the first and second round picks have played 3,000 some snaps. That's because they can't get off the fucking field. They play 45 minutes of fucking defense every week. Of course they fucking play that many snaps. You play some shitty ass zone defense when you have legit corners that can stop guys, but you're giving them a 15-yard cushion every time. Anybody can make that throw in the NFL.
I mean, there was catches in the middle of the field. There wasn't anyone within 12 yards of these people.
There never
Like,
is. Dude, James Cook makes a catch across the middle of the field. It's like, dude, I don't think anybody. I think he's just hanging out. I could have made that throw.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're just terrible. They suck, but so do the Lions. So I just hope they run the ball. Smart Toure actually made a cool play where he like was running a route and he's like, oh hey, this isn't working, and actually broke off the other way and scored a touchdown. That did make me feel better. And Dobbs made a good catch. Amari Rodgers still returns punts. Blows my fucking mind. But hey, just keep doing it because he won't fumble again.
Why the fuck does Sammy Watkins play? Why is he in the
NFL?
That
guy fucking sucks. He can't get any separations. He needs to retire.
No,
he
can't.
That guy sucks. No separation. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. Panthers at Bengals. I'm by myself again. I like the Bengals. I know they just got beat by a shit ton by the Browns. They looked really, really bad without Jamar Chase being there. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd both scored. It's hard when you're going against the best running back in the NFL, and he is just beating the shit out of you. But I don't think that P.J. Walker and the Panthers have – I know they beat the Falcons, our favorite team, but I don't know. Or they didn't beat the Falcons, but they didn't cover whatever. So – I like the Bengals. They got to figure it out. You guys go ahead. Anybody? Rich?
So they're still going to be out with Jamar Chase is not going to be in. So I think him being out is truly affecting this offense and everything. Not having that third, they got 3 great receivers and stuff. And when you take that one out, now they're covering 2 other receivers that they're going to get theirs, but it just makes it a lot more harder. Burrow's still getting sacked a lot. They did a lot this offseason to freaking try to shore up that offensive line, and he's getting sacked again. Mixon hasn't even been doing anything. He's been subpar for the last.
I think he's averaging like 3 yards a carry.
Yeah, just like I said, I don't know what's going on with them, and for some reason, the Panthers defense is doing their part, and PJ Walker is finding DJ Moore. Like I've been wanting. Finally, DJ Moore is a freaking star receiver there all of a sudden. And it's just looking like a stud and everything. Panthers are going to make this a game like they've had the last 2 weeks against their other opponents, where everybody's been picking the other opponent, and Panthers have been doing it. So I'm going to Panthers again for a 3rd week in a row.
Yeah,
DJ Moore, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd are all scoring in that game.
Yeah, I like the Panthers also because it's just above. It's above 7 points. It's at 7.5 currently. And everything Rich said is exactly why I think so. When you're missing your number one, and when your number one is Jamar Chase, they just seemed out of sorts. And they started getting it rolling the last couple weeks before Chase went down. So if that was the case, this would be a different story. This spread would probably be a little bit different also. But it looked and felt different watching the Bengals the other night. And at one point, I'm like, okay, they're going to get going. They're going to get going. You still have 2 stud receivers, like Rich just said, but they just didn't. And so because this is more than a touchdown, because it's at 7.5, I have the Panthers plus 7.5.
Jack, I actually picked up the Panthers defense actually today off waiver wires. I have the Titans defense, and they're playing against Kansas City this week, so I wanted to go another direction, and I picked up the Panthers defense. So if you could do that, I would definitely do that too.
Hey, Jack, I enjoy this. I just saw that. I scrolled over that. He fucking stinks. Sorry. That Panthers defense is legit, and it was really good last year too. Brian Burns is a dog, and I don't know. For some reason, I thought Jeremy Chin was hurt, but I don't know if he's back or not. I can't remember now.
Hey, that ball that Walker threw to DJ Moore was.
PJ Walker's he's a stud, man.
That was incredible. People can't throw that ball like taking a crow hop, and he did it like rolling out to the left, and that was on a dime. That was awesome. And it's good to see DJ Moore, showing up for 2 straight weeks. So there's some promising thing with the Panthers. You lose McCaffrey, and they're what's his name? Deonta Foreman looked really good. He looked really good. I think they're going to have Chuba back this week. They're not a good team. The Bengals are a better team on paper, but that ball was incredible. That was awesome. I've watched that.
Your question about
20 times.
The question about what defense start, I would probably start the Vikings defense against the Commanders instead of the Panthers with the Bengals, because the Bengals can boat race like they did the Falcons. I know they had Jamar Chase in, but like I said, T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd would be the number one receiver on a lot of teams. No, not Tyler Boyd maybe, but he still gets paid more than everybody on that team probably. And he's they're very good. I don't think the Commanders have that firepower.
To me, I'd rather have the Panthers
beat the shit out of my team.
I'm sorry. I'd rather have the Panthers because for some reason, Abe mentioned it earlier. Commanders have been on a roll. Freaking Heineke has been he's been doing it and everything. So me personally, I would do the Panthers. They might get some sacks, a lot more sacks. So
no, Chase Young's designated return off IR, best guy running past the quarterback in the league. I'm not a Chase Young guy, sorry. Chargers at Falcons. Falcons getting 3.5 home. Of course, we're all picking the Falcons. We're all getting jerseys. Fucking Falcons jerseys.
Yeah,
not a Calvin Ridley one.
Bold move there too. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm getting a Roddy White jersey.
There you go, Roddy White. Yeah, we're all on the Falcons. I do have a prop in this game. I like Josh Palmer over 70 receiving yards. I don't know what his receiving yards. There's no prop out for it yet. But Keenan Allen, this is going to be his first full game back. No Mike Williams.
Is he playing for sure?
Hold on, because
they said Keenan Allen might be out longer.
Because
the bye
they
week
said
didn't help.
He said during the bye week he felt like he got worse during the bye week.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not see that.
I saw it today. That's what he said. I was like, what happened?
That solidifies even more that Palmer over his receiving yards. So Palmer's a damn good receiver. I mean, this guy is really, really good. Mm-hmm. So I like over his receiving yards. There's not a prop out yet, so I just put 70 on here because the prop's going to probably be around 60. But just to be safe, I think he gets well over his prop. So I like Palmer over his receiving yards this week.
I like Falcons too, and Marcus Mariota for president. I agree with you 100%.
Hey, now if he threw the ball 20 times, I'd be a lot happier and got Drake London involved. But
it's interesting is. I think he's in the top 5 as far as fantasy QBs right now.
Probably. I mean,
and I have him on one of my teams, and they're always projecting him for like 13, 14 points and everything, but he's always scoring like 20, 25. Now, obviously, he does have some few bad games here and there and everything, but I mean, he's been on a roll the last 3 weeks. So yes, for president, and I also do have a player prop on this game right here. I am taking a Q over 1.5 made field goals.
Rich, I love your player prop. I love your punting one. I love your field goals for 2. I love this stuff.
Hey, this is for Justin. Justin's always about the kickers and everything, so I went with the kickers this time around.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Rich, do you have on your Mariota Raiders jersey under that hoodie?
No, matter of fact, I don't have a Mariota Raider jersey. I only have starters. Which is not good right now. So
I got Darren McFadden one upstairs. It's okay.
Run DMC, baby.
Oh yeah. Colts at the Patriots. We're all on the Patriots. The Colts, that team's fair. I feel bad for Brody. He's there every home game. Got a season tickets.
I know.
God damn, they're getting
3.5, 4 hours over there, and then he's got to go watch that team not give Jonathan Taylor the ball. Yeah, we're all on the Patriots on this. The reason, I mean, this was my survivor pool pick, and I just did it based on, when it comes down to it, when you look at coaches, Patriots win by everything. Quarterbacks, it doesn't matter who the Patriots quarterback is going to be better than the Colts quarterback. And then the running backs, Jonathan Taylor is pretty good, but so is Ramondre. So I have the Patriots -5.
I think Damian Harris didn't practice today, maybe.
Really?
Or something. Was it Kevin Harris? Is that the kid they drafted? North Dakota State or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's on. I don't know. I have him in a couple dynasty leagues. I'm waiting for him to get a chance. I think that's his name. Yeah.
Well, the Ramondre Stevenson train has left the building. I don't think he's given up the starting role to Damian Harris anymore.
Yeah, but they're not going to have. It's going to be the same thing with Damian Harris. That's always been there. They're going to have.
No, I get that and everything, but I know a lot of people
Ramondre's a dude
for him to come back and everything, and I think Stevenson has pretty much took over the lead role as far as what he's done for the last 3-4 weeks. I mean, once Harris comes back, it's going to be muddy waters still and everything, but I think Stevenson out-touches Harris for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's okay to have 2 backs. I mean, they have 2 good backs, and it's just as long as you realize that Ramondre is a better back and he gets the ball 65% of the time, that's fine. I mean, but
not to mention he was from OU. So.
Yeah, Ramondre is good, man. That guy's fun to watch.
I tried to order a Tennessee hat 2 days ago. because I'm going to a party Saturday for a wedding shower, and there's like a dozen Alabama fans there, but it didn't say it was going to be here by Saturday, so I didn't order. I was pissed. That's kind of, because I fucking hate Alabama, but gotta support Rocky Top. I just made me think of that. You said OU. Raiders at Jaguars.
Game of the week, baby.
Rich,
Game of the week.
Rich, this isn't because you're my guy, but I'm picking the Jaguars, dude. The Raiders, I don't know, you 0 points. It's hard to get shut out of the goddamn NFL.
I was at work, not watching any games at all, and I came in the office real quick to see what was going on, and I saw 0 points from the Raiders. I also saw like Derek Carr was like, and this was third quarter, and he had like less than 100 yards passing. I'm like, did he get hurt? What the hell is going on? This was embarrassing. I'm ride or die, man. I will tell everybody I am ride or die for the Raiders. Thick and thin, blood and sweat, tears and everything. Roller coaster emotions. Probably one of the most embarrassing games for us in the past 20 years. It was ridiculous and everything. With that being said, I picked the Saints Raiders last week, but Saints ain't a bad team. Their defense is good. I don't think Lattimore played in that game, if I'm correct. Alvin Kamara just ripped through us like freaking X-Lax going through somebody's body and everything. Freaking just had a freaking awesome game and everything. But look, embarrassing loss. But I am back at it this week, like always. Raiders -1.5 visiting the Jaguars. Man, we have to have a bounce back game on this one. But Carr is questionable right now. Devontae Adams is questionable right now. Waller is questionable right now.
Rich, by the way, I'm so pissed. I drafted Waller in a league I'm in with Abe, and dude, what the fuck? I actually just got TJ Hawkinson on the waiver wire, so I mean that's cool, but like, god damn it. I thought Waller was gonna do some cool shit, They don't even score now.
We all thought the whole damn Raiders offense was gonna do a lot, man.
God damn, it's frustrating.
Man. Yeah, but they're learning a new offense. I'm gonna lean on that. I'm gonna lay my hat on that.
I bet maybe this is the week I should take Jacobs over his yards, because maybe Josh McDaniels will realize hey, you know what's a good idea? Running the football.
Yeah,
probably not though.
They went away from it. And look what happened.
I've been picking against the Raiders to help Rich out, get a couple wins.
Didn't help me last week.
And last week it didn't help, so I'm going with the Raiders this week. Law of averages says that every NFL team averages 20, 22, 27 points a game, and they scored 0 last week. So they got a law of averages said you got to put up a ton of points this week. So I have the Raiders -1.5. I do have a couple of props that I really like. I think Etienne has a good game. I think his rushing yards is awesome. And I do like Devontae, knowing this as a Packers fan. If Devontae does lay an egg one week, the next week he goes ballistic. And there's been a lot of criticism towards Devontae this year.
That was back in the day. Now he's got eyeliner Derek Carr throwing the ball.
Yeah. Hey, it's another Hall of Famer going from a Hall of Famer, okay?
Rich, I think you need to cool it with the drinking. But anyways.
Dave, what time did you start drinking today?
I think that Devontae has a game. He was sick last week, whatever it was. I don't know what it was, but it's rare to see a game like that with Devontae. So I think he gets back on track. And my favorite bet of the weekend is Travis Etienne over 17.5 longest rush. This guy's ripped off 4 straight games of 30-yard rushes. He's had a 51, 2 30-yard rushes. I mean, he just rips off a long rush every single game. So I love that fact. The Raiders' defense against the run is good, but it's not anything to speak home about. Yes. As we saw Kamara rip through them last week. So I love Etienne over 17.5 longest rush. And I like the Raiders -1.5 going down to Jacksonville.
Yeah, so my player prop it's actually the weekly special this week for that game and everything. Etienne 100+ rushing yards and 1+ rushing TD. After what Kamara just did this past week, I think the Raiders are going to have a better game. It's like what you said. After throwing out a 0, they're going to come out and throw some points. It's a weird season.
Jaguars defense stingy. Just saying.
No,
It
no,
is.
I agree and stuff like that, but I think they bounced back this year. They got to
have to.
come back after that embarrassing loss and everything. I was gonna say one other thing. The
Rich, what was
Devontae
that?
Adams last
what
week
that
was
was?
battling the flu going into the game. So
Rich,
We've
you know
all
what
had
that
the flu in
was?
Vegas. We all played through it.
Yeah. I mean, I've had the bottle flu in Vegas every time I've done that. Every single time.
yeah,
Every single
I see
time.
two great athletes sitting in front of me right now.
I mean, has been.
Hey. Hey, by the way, Jack said Ellinger pass yards under 201. Yeah, I'm in on that one.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That's good shit. Rich, I hope the Raiders win. God damn, like just score some points. Darren Waller, catch a fucking football. All right, Seahawks.
Devontae Adams catch a football. Hunter Renfro
Yeah, no
catch a
shit.
football.
You know what? Just throw the ball to Devontae. That's all I ask. I want him to get. I want him like Cooper Cup targets this weekend.
Yeah.
Seahawks traveling down south. The division NFC West, the leading Seahawks traveling to the Cardinals. Again, by myself. This week's going to be either really good or really bad for me. So I like the Seahawks playing good football. Kenny Walker's a dude. The Cardinals stink. Kyler might show up, maybe not. I'm pissed that they don't let Keontae Ingram play. Really bums me out. I know Hopkins will probably have 190 yards, but like I said, they got some dogs on the defensive backfield for the Seahawks. So that defense is playing extremely well, dude. Jordan Brooks is a dude. I just forgot the one kid I was thinking of, but Kobe Bryant has been very good. The rookies for the Seahawks have played so well this year on both sides of the ball. So I like the better coach. Rocking the Air Monarchs, chomping some gum. Give me Pete Carroll and the Seahawks getting 2 points on the road.
Yeah, so I'm going Cardinals.
Or whatever, Rich, sorry.
At home, -2. Look, Seahawks eventually got to fall off, and I think this might be the game start happening. And we've been saying that all year long, so it's probably going to bite us in the ass. Oops, I cussed.
Ooh, about goddamn time.
Oh, we got another one over here. This way.
Yeah, Cardinals. Look,
put $1 in the swear jar.
I gotta go with Murray and Hopkins. Hopefully Connor's back and messes up that running backfield and everything, makes it even more muddier. And I want to see Ingram too. I want to see him in there. I got him in a few leagues. I picked him up in some rookie drafts and everything. So I want to see what he could do, man.
I'm on the Cardinals -2 also. The Seahawks have been playing like, hey, we're going to win 4 games all year long, and no one's giving them credit. And now all of a sudden they're the NFC West leading the division. So it's a different story now. I don't know if they can really hold up to that. People have been asking Gino about it. Gino's like, well, it's no different and all that stuff. Well, now it's in your head, and now it's in your ear that like, hey, all we need to do is keep winning, and we're going to win the division. We're going to make the playoffs in the NFC West that everyone thought was going to be very, very, tough and a good division. I agree with Rich. I think that the Seahawks come down to earth, and the Cardinals are not a good football team either. But the Cardinals are not a good football team. But I think with the way that NFL has been this year, Seahawks come back down to earth, and now people are kind of hunting them because they're at the top. So I like the Cardinals -2 at home. Both of these teams are absolutely atrocious against a tight end. So I have a player prop. There's not any numbers out for Ertz yet, but I like Ertz to get 5 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown. Both of these teams are terrible against the tight end, so make sure you keep that in mind when you're putting in some player props this weekend. So I'm
not trying to cover you up. I'm not trying to cover you up with this.
Yeah, you're fine. Oh, you're good.
Oh, hey, by the way, before we go on to this, I just want to say the Cardinals already won their one home game for the year. So I don't know why you guys are thinking. You just wait. I can't wait. I'm gonna rub this one in real hard next week. You'll see. You guys be real.
Remember this. Remember this next week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I will.
That's the only one.
All right, so we got Blurpy in the chat.
Marshawn Lynch jersey next week because they won.
We got Blurpy. Great name. My team is his team is Hurts at QB, running back. He got Cook, Kamara, Etienne, Gibson, Henry, and Pacheco. Receivers, he has
fucking 18 league. Jesus Christ, dude.
Amon-Ra, Wandale. Tight ends, Waller, Hill, Likely, and Ingram. Any trade ideas? It's a 10-team PPR, so okay, that kind of makes a little bit more sense. 4-4 record with this team. Damn, that's tough. But all these, excluding Hurts, all these guys have struggled at certain points of the year and everything, except Hurts and Henry. So I can see what in a 10-team league, you're going to have teams that are going to come out and it's going to be a lot more tougher to win games and stuff like that. But I would.
You got to get better at wide receiver, I guess. Now that I look at it, because Pittman, he's really good. I just think he's going to struggle, and he's because of Ellinger. I mean, if you could, you might be able to get rid of him and Wan'Dale Robinson maybe, or Isaiah Likely, if he's gonna, I don't know what Andrews' injury is, how serious it is. I think he's gonna be fine and play. But I mean, your tight ends, I guess, have kind of underperformed with. Oh, you got Taysom Hill, my favorite player, but Darren Waller's been disappointing. Likely played well. I think Likely had a damn good week last week.
Yes, he did.
But it's hard to. I mean, you can't start all of those running backs. That's one thing. I mean, I think the Vikings already had their bye. Saints, did they have their bye?
I don't think so yet.
No, they haven't. They have not. So obviously Cook will be there throughout the rest of the year. I think Kamara and Etienne are coming on. Gibson and Pacheco. I love Isaiah Pacheco, but I think he's one you can. To me, he's kind of not like saying disposable, but I feel like the Chiefs don't care who you are. And they're going to give the ball to anybody. So if he has a big week, I'd trade him in a heartbeat. And same with Pittman and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know. D-Hop's the one guy I'm keeping that I really, really want on that wide receiver core.
Yeah.
I love St. Brown, but who knows?
I would actually try to maybe take Kamara for a fact with the game he just had. Take him and team him up with Pittman and Amon and stuff like that and go after Jefferson. I mean, because you still have Cook and Henry. And if you have D-Hop and you're able to say maybe get a Jefferson or even try to go after Jamar Chase right now, even with him being injured.
I don't know. They said 4 to 6 weeks. That makes me nervous.
Well, they didn't put him on the IR, so he's going to be back closer than.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I would probably look at that. Take like I said, get Kamara, get Pittman, and just go for it. It's a 10-team league. Go after Jefferson. Just go after Jefferson. Go after Cup. Give some of those big players away, and to get that one receiver to team up with D-Hop. You have Cook and you have Henry. That'd be a good combo to have going, and maybe turn your season around.
Yeah, I agree 100% with what you're saying. Like you're all those running backs, you can't start all of them. And we're getting to the point now where we're getting to the double-digit weeks. There's still some bye weeks, I understand, but if you have guys that are scoring 20, 25 points on your bench, it's time to move them. So I agree 100%. I think you package. I mean, you have Cook and you have Henry. Both have had their bye weeks. And Kamara's coming off a huge week. So I would package Kamara for a stud wide receiver, Kamara and Pittman for a stud wide receiver. I mean, you could probably get Kamara for Devontae right now. I mean, so it says you can start off for. So maybe I wouldn't do that. Yeah. You need a little bit of help at wide receiver. Your tight ends, you have a lot of depth, but it's going to be one of those things like, hey, who do I start every week? You have a lot of options. Do you want to do that? Or what I like to do is I like to, in weeks 10 or 11, just solidify my lineup and say, hey, you know what? It's good to have depth. During bye weeks, it's good to have depth for injuries and stuff. But at some point, you got to say, start looking at maybe, what the playoff schedules look like for some of these teams, and just be like, hey, let's ride with these 3 running backs and try to get one stud wide receiver out of this. That's where you're lacking a little bit as wide receiver. Amon-Ra is probably going to get his because he's probably going to get a lot of garbage time production if he stays healthy. Your running backs are awesome. Your wide receivers are good. Your tight ends, you have a lot of depth. But if you want to make choices every week, it's going to be tough. But that team's better than a 4-4 team. So stick with it. It will get better.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Sorry, I was betting on some basketball because it's being a barn burner right now. Rams traveling to Tampa Bay. The reeling Bucks getting favored by 3 at home. Rich, let's hear it. You go first.
Both teams are struggling. There's a chance Cup might not play. He ain't going to be 100%. Heck, their running back situation is freaking horrible. Everybody's going out picking up this running back. I can't even think of his name right now. It seems like what's that?
Kyron.
No, it was someone else. There's someone else that
Oh, Ronnie Rivers.
There you go. I mean, I don't know,
favorite
man.
country singer.
I think right now, Rams don't know what's going on and everything. Tampa Bay has Godwin, Evans. I mean, Brady needs to turn it around. I think this is a game that they make right. It's at home. I'm taking the Buccaneers at -3.
I'll go next.
Well,
I have the Rams at +3, and I have no idea why. I mean, both these teams have absolutely underachieved. Yeah, I don't know. I've lost faith in Brady and his team. I mean, it's crazy for me to say that, but I don't know. And not that there's a lot of faith in the Rams, but it's just like, that team is struggling to score, and so I don't know what's going to happen in
I love this.
I don't know what the hell to think. So that's probably true.
He's got a bolo tie on under his shoulder pads.
So I have the Rams +3. I don't know. This is one I'm absolutely, I don't know what to do with. The reason I chose the Rams just because they're getting points. I do have a prop in this. Brady and Stafford each throw for 300 is +4, 4-1 odds. So that's not too bad odds. Maybe this game gets up and down a little bit. So, but I have the Rams +3. I wish I could give more information on this, but I just don't know what the hell to think of these two teams.
Yeah, no idea either. Give me the Rams. Surely it's time that they break out and start doing things. Ronnie Rivers will be a league winner. I hope so. I like Benny Skowronek to score a touchdown. He's been getting more involved. It's time. Get him in the end zone. Titans at the Chiefs. Sunday Night Football. You guys got, again, by myself. I know 12.5 is a lot of points, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. The Titans stink. Who cares? Malik Willis might be the quarterback. That would be awesome if he was, because that would be even easier. The Chiefs are too good for the Titans. 12.5 is a lot, but I like it. I'm picking all these big spreads this week. I like that. Go ahead, Dave.
I have the Titans +12.5 at the Chiefs. I mean, Kansas City's way better team. Both teams are 5-2, I believe. So it's hard for me to say that the team's 5-2 and they're getting 12.5 points on in the prime time. I know that Mahomes is awesome. I know the big lights, but 12.5 points for a team that's 5-2 is tough for me not to take. So I have the Titans +12.5.
So, interesting fact: the Kansas City Chiefs have a record of 27-24 against the Titans all time. The past couple years, Titans are always playing the Chiefs tight. I mean, these are always close scoring games and everything. So when I saw this at 12.5, that's why I went with the Titans and everything. I think they're going to make this a closer game. Look, just give Henry the ball, man. Let him run the ball, control the clock.
Nick Bolton's going to knock Derrick Henry's helmet off his head. Nick Bolton's
that's a big man. That's a big man.
So is Nick Bolton.
I like Titans 12.5 plus 12.5. So I think it's going to be closer than what you think. There's another one we're going to come back next week and discuss.
We'll discuss. So, hey, we can just start discussing on. We'll just talk with the goddamn 2-hour show. Monday Night Football, Ravens at the Saints. Oh, great. This game's going to stink. Rich, go ahead. Saints getting 2.5 points at home.
Yeah, hey, look, it's at home. Saints, they just beat my Raiders, so that's the reason why I'm going with the Saints. Look, Andrews might be a decoy out there, but Bateman's is out. Running back situation, it's all Lamar Jackson. Maybe it's going to be the Jackson Likely show and stuff like that, and maybe they do pull it out and everything, but their defense ain't good. Saints offense is looking real good. Kamara might just have another heyday. So I like the Saints at plus 2.5 at home.
Abe?
I like the Ravens -2.5. I think they got a big addition in Roquan. I mean, I think that was the biggest.
Yeah, Jesus
I think that was
Christ.
the biggest, I think that was the biggest addition besides the McCaffrey
Well,
deal.
man, he's like one of the best off-ball linebackers in the NFL.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
I mean that to me was a steal. I mean, he's that same second-round pick and actually farther down the draft order than what Chase Claypool will be. So I think the Ravens are going to be a team that's going to start turning it on here. So on paper, I think the Ravens are a way better team. The Saints have played good at times. They've looked terrible at times. Saints don't know who they're going to have at wide receiver every week because Mike Thomas just plays when he wants. And so I know Kamara was awesome last week, but I think having Roquan in the middle of that defense is a huge lift for the Ravens. And Lamar is pretty damn good in prime time. So I like the Ravens -2.5.
Yeah, I do too. I think that that defense got better. The passing game, I know they were getting torched, but they've gotten better too. Marcus Peters, I think, is healthy. I think the Ravens defensive coordinator is a dipshit, but that's neither here nor there. Like Abe said, the Saints, who knows who's playing wide receiver? Landry's probably out. Mike Thomas is probably out. Oh man, I can't bet Nebraska. I don't even know who their head coach is now. But yeah, I think, and David Ajabo is getting off the IR. By the way, he's back at practice. So if he's out there, I know he's new and who knows what's going to go on, but he was pretty good. So I like the Ravens getting points. I know it's tough, but like Abe said, they'll turn it on one of these days. So week 9 long shot bets. You know what? Oh, get your shot board, Rich. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, real quick, I want to go back to this. Blurpy, look, on the Nebraska +16 at home versus Minnesota, you're saying, I know Nebraska isn't good, but that's a lot for Minnesota on the road.
Listen to our Friday show. They'll tell you.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go at. We got a duo, P2P. They talk about college. They are freaking legit. They'll be on this Friday and everything. That'd be a great question to ask them. They cover college like no other and everything, and they'll give you a better answer than what we can give you. Just don't cover the college as much as we do as far as the NFL. Okay. So long shot of the week for week 9. I am taking Hill and Waddle over 100 receiving yards each. They're each going to go over 100 yards. So it's +425. They are playing against the Bears. They just gave up a lot of their defensive players away. So I think it's going to be a lot of
Chase Claypool is actually going to play defensive back.
What's that? Jamar Chase? Or
I said Chase Claypool is going to play defensive back. He's playing both sides of the ball Sunday. Hey, go ahead.
I have a couple of different long shot bets, and these are long shot bets for a reason. My first one is the Bears and Lions both to win outright. That is +626. If you parlay those two together, do I think both will happen? No, but guess what? It's the NFL. I don't know. And both teams are, the Bears are coming off a pretty big high in their locker room. A lot of us that actually follow football don't think that that's that great of a move. But and the Lions against the Packers, who knows what's going to happen there. So I have Bears and Lions to both win outright at +626. There's a weekly special with Derrick Henry to get 150 rushing and Mahomes to throw for 300 at 7-1 odds. Henry to get 150 rushing yards against the Chiefs is going to be pretty difficult and far-fetched, but I think they keep the ball on the ground as much as possible to keep Mahomes off the field. But Mahomes is good enough on the field that he can get 300 yards. So that at 7-1 is pretty good. And then my favorite one of the week is Swift and Jones to each get 100 yards scrimmage yards. So it's rushing and receiving. All they have to do is get 100 each, and those odds are 3-1. So I think that's a pretty good bet itself.
Hell yeah.
Cheers.
I like that. Cheers. Mine was this one. I don't know. I guess it's because I think they're gonna dog walk him. But Josh Allen, 300 plus passing yards, 40 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown. I think it's I don't know. Seems like not too actually. The one rushing touchdown makes me nervous. It was a passing touchdown, obviously, it'd be like, yeah, no big deal. But
oh man, that's an easy one, man. Rushing touchdown for Mr. Josh Allen. That's all he does is score rushing touchdowns.
It's a long shot for a reason, right? It's a long shot.
Maybe that's the long shot part of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Putting my mortgage on it. To our little confidence pool. I just lost my. There we go. I was trying to find my week 8. We actually all did pretty well. I had 2 points. These guys both had 3 points. I think my hits were the where'd it go? Son of a gun.
Your hits was on Vikings and the Dolphins.
Thank you. Yeah, Vikings, Dolphins. I don't know. Did you guys have the same for your 3? You were close, weren't you?
I had the Vikings, the Cowboys, and the Eagles.
And I had the Titans, Commanders, and Patriots.
That's right. So I feel like we're finally we're not leveling off because Abe has been getting at least 3 points every week for the last 5 weeks. But Rich and I are trying to make a game out of this one. So
yeah.
So week 9, Rich, you know what? You go first, Rich.
So this week, my 5 confident it's going to be interesting. I'm taking Patriots -5, Dolphins -5, Vikings -3.5. I'm actually taking Texans +14, and I'm taking the Cardinals -2.
Ooh. Abe?
Mine are Vikings -3.5, Lions +4, Patriots -5, Raiders -1.5, and the Ravens on Monday Night Football -2.5.
Okay, I like this. I like all these, except there's a couple I don't like for Rich.
I don't like this
That's
one.
not a bad bet. I thought we said I don't know, like Abe said earlier, I don't know if he's going to run much and if he even plays in the fourth quarter, maybe even part of the third quarter. I think Gardner Minshew's going to be out there as George just dealing. It's too bad.
I like the running backs more in this game than
Miles Sanders is a guy for rushing yards as I like. And normally Hurts at 41.5 is yeah, sure, let's do that. But I think he sits back in the pocket and there's no risk trying to get him hurt. Trying to get him out rolling around. So I'm not. That's one prop I'm not a big fan of his over.
Hey, Rich said earlier he's going to go off. My 5 picks real quick. Eagles -14, just because you guys. I think I picked ones you guys picked against me. I'm by myself in half these. So Eagles -14, Dolphins -5, Vikings -3.5, Falcons +3.5, and the Seahawks +2. So I had to get a couple. Had to get a couple dogs in there. Because make it a little more fun. So
yep.
I think you had all favorites last week.
What?
I think you had all favorites last week.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
So this year, it definitely is.
Yeah, Jesus
you got one
Christ.
other question in the chat, guys. 10-man PPR, 6-1 team. He has Hurts, CMC, Lenny, Jamar, CD, Kelsey, Godwin, Jacoby, Myers, Mostert, Waller, Odell, Jameson, Williams.
Rashad White and Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Are you just showing off?
Yeah, I think he is. Hey, beautiful team. Here we go.
Trade? Yes. Yeah, right now. What? Don't even ask.
If you can make it happen, go ahead and do it. I see this very hard being done though.
Who's his backup quarterback?
It doesn't matter.
Who was it?
Fields. He has Hurts and Fields.
He's getting rid of Jalen Hurts and starting Justin Fields, who he's literally it was QB7 and QB3 the last 2 weeks, but you're getting Nick Chubb and Cooper Kupp.
I like it. Like I said, I just don't know if that other player is gonna, unless he's struggling.
I mean, there's people that are. I mean, Jalen Hurts that's what's going to take him to the promised land. So they might take that. I like that side of it though.
Nick Chubb's best running back in the NFL. So
man, he's good. I saw someone real quick for finish. I saw someone saying if you had one running back in the history of the NFL to score 1 touchdown from 3 yards out, who would you choose? And this guy, who was pretty well known, I can't remember who it was, said, I know this is more recent and it's recency bias, but I'm choosing Nick Chubb. I'm like, Nick Chubb is freaking awesome. That dude is awesome. Yeah. I want to watch, man.
Rich, you've been with 12 Styles for a long time. How long have I been saying Nick Chubb's best running back in the NFL?
Since the first episode.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised if there ain't a player prop that you ain't got Chubb going. Which this week did you have?
It wasn't.
I think they're on a bye, right? Yeah, they're on a bye.
He's still going to get his rushing yards this weekend.
So he's still on a bye. I need a player prop. Come on, Nate. What do we got?
Chubb's going to score.
Yeah. There wasn't very many. Like I said, there wasn't shit out there this week. That's why I didn't have very many of them. The only ones I had for the early game.
All right, here's a player prop for you. Does Chubb get mentioned at all in any kind of Twitter chat, or does something come out that he gets arrested for over this week with them being on a bye?
No, dude. No.
So we're taking the under on that.
Sure.
All right. There we go. We got a player prop for Chubb.
Stand-up guy. Stand-up guy.
I know. Just throwing out a player prop.
He's the man.
So Nick also said if Field sucks, I could stream people per week. That's true. Like I said, he has been very good for fantasy. when I say Field stinks and that I don't like, it's all like real football related. I know he's done well for fantasy wise, but I think he is destined to struggle. And yeah, I wish the Packers had Nick Chubb. That'd be cool too. But Aaron Jones is fine. But Nick Chubb's just my favorite player in the NFL.
Nate has a Chubb for Chubb.
He does. Always
That's
has.
cool. Hey, since when he was at Georgia, didn't ever matter.
Who's winning Georgia, Tennessee this weekend?
Dude, do I got to tell you?
Who's winning?
He was going to buy a shirt. A jersey, wasn't he?
Rocky Top.
You know who's winning.
I know.
Of course. You know.
My niece went to Tennessee, so that's who I got to roll with. But I've always
Rocky Top, dude.
Went to Tennessee, but I've always kind of liked Georgia, so I don't know. That's
I'm going Georgia.
To watch. We had a real good game Saturday afternoon.
Hell yeah. Rocky Top, buddy. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Check us out, toadstyles.com. Check out Patreon, patreon.com/toadstitles. You can find us on Twitter at toadstyles. You can find myself at Nate_dirt19, Abe at MVinFF, Rich at FreedomAntito_FF. Thanks for tuning in, and good luck and good gambling. We'll see y'all next week.